This is KGW News at noon.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Brenda Braxton. Within the last 30 minutes, ODOT reopened all lanes of I-5 North in the Terwilliger curves after a crash involving a semi-truck loaded with chickens. So it was a huge mess, backed up traffic for about 7 hours. But look at it now. It's like it never happened. This is a live picture of I-5 near Capitol Highway. Now for a second, I want to rewind. We have video of the accident shortly after it happened around 3:45 this morning. The semi overturned, scattering chickens and cages all over the freeway. Crews cleared the road just before 11:30 this morning. Now to the east side. Just as we hit the air this noon, ODOT closed all westbound lanes of I-84 for bridge work at the I-205 interchange. This is right near Rocky Butte State Park. I-84 will reopen Monday morning at 5 o'clock. For a look at the detour and the on-ramps that are closing, head to KGW.com. And then finally today, the Morrison Bridge is closing tonight starting at 8 o'clock. It is off limits to cars, bikes, and pedestrians through the weekend. It'll reopen Monday at 5 a.m. This is part of the Morrison Bridge paint project that started last year and wraps up next month. Providence nurses and clinicians say they'll return to work tomorrow after a week-long strike. About 1,800 union members walked off the job Monday morning. That includes 1,300 at Providence Portland, another 100 or so at Seaside, and about 400 hospice care workers. Providence brought in replacement nurses to fill the gap. The striking nurses say they want higher pay, among other things. Providence previously offered them a 12% raise in the first year of the contract.
I think the strike has been very disruptive and emotional and expensive for all parties involved. And I think it's important that we come back together and really look at a fair and reasonable contract.
Providence sent nurses an email before the strike saying if they walked off the job, the next offer wouldn't be as lucrative. The strike ends tonight at 7, and nurses return to work tomorrow at 7 a.m. Next week, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is set to unveil his plan to get drug use out of the public view. KGW's Catherine Cook took a closer look at how he plans to accomplish that.
What once may have drawn gasps now feels commonplace in many parts of Portland. Open-air drug use, the needles, smoking, and death. The Police Bureau is investigating more than 100 suspected drug overdose deaths from this year alone.
I have a little sister. She's turning 7. And there have been times where I've been out with her and I've had to, steer her away from somebody who is clearly using heroin or something like that.
Possessing small amounts of hard drugs in Oregon is no longer a felony because of Measure 110. Since 2021, police have been issuing $100 civil citations for drug possession. Recipients can get that fine waived if they call a phone number for a drug treatment assessment. On Thursday, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler noted that of the thousands of civil citations issued statewide, only 189 have resulted in drug treatment assessments.
Clearly, this is not working as it was intended to.
Wheeler said next week he'll bring a new ordinance to City Council outlawing public drug use in Portland. He wants it to close the loophole between legal possession of hard drugs and using them in public.
We've all heard stories of people walking down the street and finding themselves in a cloud of unknown smoke and having to seek medical treatment for what they've just unwillingly inhaled.
The mayor declined our request for an interview. Instead, he shared these pre-recorded statements.
This is a common sense approach. We must make it clear that people cannot use drugs in public spaces.
Ordinance violators could face up to a $500 fine or 6 months in jail. Portlanders we spoke with have mixed feelings about the approach.
I think it's not just as simple as open-air use of drugs.
Bertoni Faustin owns Abbey Creek Winery and a tasting room downtown. He's concerned that, as with Measure 110, lack of other steps and actions could render very little from new efforts.
You have an ordinance, but what are you bringing along with it? whether it's support, whether it's services, etc. So I think it's going to take more than just an ordinance.
It feels like if there was less drug use right in front of me and more so behind closed doors, I think that would just be better in general.
And for those with no doors to close behind them, more concerns.
As far as having safe injection sites and stuff like that. So if they're gonna make it illegal to use drugs in public spaces, then they should definitely have those kind of places open.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Let's head back to the Weather Center now for a look at the forecast. Ashley Grams is in for Rod, and Ashley, you're tracking some changes.
Right, we've had such a beautiful morning, at least looking outside the station. It is absolutely sunny and gorgeous, makes for a very happy Friday. The coast looking a little bit different here as we take a look at our Cannon Beach camera. You can see a marine layer keeping those clouds low. Lots of fog. We just had a fog advisory lift about an hour ago, but again, this is going to stick around through most of the day. But as I said, looking a lot different here in Portland. 75 degrees outside right now. Gorgeous, just a little bit of a breeze keeping it there for us. But as we take a look at this afternoon, we do have a little bit of a change, as Brenda said there. You can see by the time we get to the afternoon hours, we are going to have a chance for some showers, some thunderstorms. We'll talk a little bit more about where we're going to see that across the state and Southwest Washington. But for now, go outside on your lunch break, enjoy that sun, and then we'll see a sunset just a little bit later tonight, 9:03, because we are still near that summer solstice. I'll have more coming up in that 7-day forecast.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Ashley. Multnomah County leaders are suing some of the world's largest fossil fuel companies, alleging their actions over decades led up to the heat dome that killed dozens of Oregonians in 2021. The county is seeking $50 million in damages and $1.5 billion for future damages from climate change. On top of that, they're asking for a $50 billion fund to upgrade healthcare services and infrastructure. Now, this is not the first time a city or county has sued oil and gas companies over climate change. But the county chair says this is different. This lawsuit focuses on one event that a number of studies have definitively linked to climate change.
The climate crisis is costing us money today and will cost us more money in the future as we try to adapt. We are not looking for a payout, we are looking to be paid back.
During the 2021 heat dome, temperatures reached 116 degrees in Portland, killing almost 70 people and sending hundreds more to area hospitals. Well, in case you missed the NBA draft last night, the Blazers picked up point guard Scoot Henderson. He's a 19-year-old from Georgia. Portland had the third overall pick, the team's highest in 16 years. Henderson played in the G League for the Ignite. He averaged almost 18 points and 7 assists last season.